should we do questions?
I think we go straight to questions.
Let's do it.
I'll give you the quick version. Glad to be home. Obviously, the Utah trip started off with a tremendous amount of adversity with planes and those sorts of things, and we didn't play well. Just plain and simple. I thought we played well in the second half, in the last 3 minutes of the first half against BYU, but the effort and the discipline and the defense against Utah for 40 minutes and against BYU for probably, 25 minutes is unacceptable. And, we're going to have to take today and tomorrow and get that better before we have Colorado on Saturday. I think it's a pretty simple deal.
Has there been something consistent that's not meshed well with the starts, or has it been a different thing kind of here and there?
I think it's been a different thing here. And I mean, obviously, if you go back and look at our starts, if we miss shots, we don't compete nearly hard enough on the defensive end. And obviously, we have talked about, different guys on this team playing through their offense and letting a missed layup or a missed jump shot affect their defensive play. And we've addressed it plenty. So we need to get over it and get it fixed, because to be very honest with you, it's, if we're not going to get it fixed, we're going to have to play somebody else.
You mentioned adversity with the planes. What happened there?
Oh, shoot, man. We were supposed to leave at 1 o'clock. I think we left here at 10. Yeah. Landed there about, I would just say midnight their time, maybe even later. I don't even remember. It was a long day. It was a long day, but a lot of plane issues.
So, Coach, you're officially just past the halfway mark in your first season here. What has something you've been impressed by with this team, and what's something that you felt has been lackluster?
I have a hard time saying it. I've been impressed by the fact that at times we're willing learners and listeners and competitors, but it's at times. It's not all of the time. They're good guys. I mean, obviously you guys all saw we had the highest GPA in our program's history. But if we can be that good academic students, then we need to be that good of a basketball student. And when we try, we're pretty good. But when we don't, we're not very good. And we've got to be better. So that's to answer the first question. What was the second part of it? What have I not been impressed with?
Yeah.
Well, I've hit that. Is our just up and down performances and our lack of defensive focus and effort and fight and toughness and grit. We've got to embrace that. I've said that after the radio the other day in both games, probably at Utah. We don't embrace being gritty, being tough, being disciplined, fighting every single ball that's on the floor. If we're not the first to get it, we're not good. And that's got to be our MO.
From the offensive side of things, the slow starts, is it just more the ball's not going in, or is it the offense isn't moving the way it's supposed to get the shots you want?
Well, I'll say this, in the beginning of games, we've manufactured the shots we wanted. Like, we've scripted out our sets, first 2, 3, 4 possessions, and we've gotten the shots and we've just missed them. Or we've had a couple instances where we didn't execute them. But like when we get the ball to the rim and we miss layups, or we get the ball to the rim and we drop it off and we, pass it out or whatever, and we just miss those shots. We've manufactured the shot we want. We've just got to be able to make them, so a little bit of both.
I asked the guys about the K-State game because I was really watching the offense at the start because of, there are only 5 assisted baskets at West Virginia.
Yeah.
And it was up dramatically against K-State. And asked the guys about that, and they said, sometimes they don't think they are moving the way they need to in order to produce opportunities.
Yeah, well, you asked about the slow starts. So the slow starts are are scripted baskets.
Okay.
But then when we don't get scripted baskets, our motion offense is stagnant. It's absolutely stagnant. And when people don't switch on us, we don't screen bodies, we're not tough, we're not physical enough to get our teammate open. And then if our teammate comes off, and let's say we call it a straight cut, he comes off to the top, well, I should end up over here. And half the time we'll set the screen and we'll go down here, or we'll wait right in this area. So now when you catch the ball up top, there's no driving lane. You know, so we're just being undisciplined and lazy. And we've worked on motion offense since the summer. Now, with that being said, we also did some 5-out motion offense there about a couple, 3 weeks into the season. And 41 or 4-out, 1-in motion versus 5-out motion is totally different. So we've been focusing a lot more on playing inside out and getting the ball inside through 4-out, 1-in motion. So to answer that question, yeah, we've got to get a lot better. And a lot of it, again, is just toughness and discipline and mentality and effort and reading and reacting, stuff that they know how to do.
Chi mentioned in a good way that you had mentioned this is a kind of a group of misfits, and that they're still trying to figure it all out and put it all together. And at times you see it. You know, there's the Kansas State game, the second half against BYU. I asked them how close they felt they were to putting it together. So in your mind, seeing the small, sections of games, how close do you feel they are to coming together and putting it together?
Yeah, I mean, when they unite and when they play for one another, we're a solid team in the Big 12. But when the misfit in us comes out, and I don't mean that in a bad way, like we're all misfits in certain respects. We all have our issues. But when my issue comes out and Robert sees it in the course of a game or the course of a practice, he has an opportunity to either help me get past it or help us get past it, or he's got a chance to kind of kidney punch me and jab me. And we've got to do the first, not the second. And so when things get tough in Big 12 play and adversity hits, we've got to band together rather than jab our opponent or jab our teammate. You know what I mean? And that's where the issues lie, right? Because we all have our issues, and they come out when things get tough. So with that being said, man, when they're good, like in the second half, they assisted 12 of 15 made baskets. And you think about our conversations in the first, 6-8 games of the year, we talked about assisted baskets, and we were up there. And then, we get into Big 12 play now. Understand that defense is a lot better in the Big 12, so that affects things. But we've had way too much selfish play in the Big 12. We just have.
I'd like to hear your thoughts on what Remember the 10 kind of represents to you, and also how you just approached, kind of educating a lot of the guys who are new here about that event.
Yeah, I've reflected on it a bunch here in the last 36 hours. So, you get the job in the spring, and there's a luncheon for the families of the Remember the 10. And I went and met everybody, and it was a great event, but there's so much going on around during that time. I don't think I got to soak it all in. And so what I've done, and I do this with most things, is I dig into, all right, let's dig into everything that happened, all of the articles that were written, all of the videos that were produced. And so I've just been consumed for the last 36 hours of watching all of those. And after watching all of those, the gravity hits you. There's tears in my eyes to watch Coach Sutton, have to address everybody in Gallagher-Iba when they had that memorial. I don't know how the heck he did it. I mean, anybody that ever says a bad word about Coach Iba is crazy, because nobody prepares you for that. Nobody prepares you for that. And, I just know that when it's all said and done, as the ambassador of this program, I will never let their memory go away. We will always represent them to the highest degree. We'll never forget them, and their memory will carry on forever. That is my promise to everybody at Oklahoma State and our alums and the families of the 10.
I think of you as a student of the game, and knowing some of the coaches you've coached with and worked for, at your various stops, that you probably had a good idea about Remember the 10 before you came in here. I mean, people in the industry, the coaches and people in this business know what happened.
Yeah, of course. No, I mean, I can't tell you exactly where I was that day, but yeah, you absolutely, you say to yourself, man, I can't imagine it. And then now you're the head coach here, and so it's something you don't wish upon your worst enemy, you know. And to see the way that we've banded together, and we've always carried on the torch for those people is unbelievable. But we're going to continue to do it. It'll never go away. It'll never go away. Like I can't, and I know I'll meet everybody or see everybody right before at our luncheon before the Colorado game, but like now it'll soak in more. I don't want to say it'll mean more because it'll soak in more. Like, okay, now I can put a face with a name because now I know who everyone is and what their role was, and you know, it's just a tough deal. But you know, you think back to, Friday, and you have, you know, a 10-hour delay, 8-hour delay, whatever it was. Well, I'd rather be, you know, safe and take the time to get that plane safe rather than, you know, rush it and take off and those sorts of things. So I don't know, but yes, it's going to be an absolutely wonderful day. Win or lose, it's going to be a wonderful day for our program because those people are going to be able to come back and feel the love within our program and, you know, within our university and our athletic department. So.
Brian had mentioned you took the guys out to the memorial, and with so many guys that are new, but also older guys, how do you kind of feel that they, I don't know, it took it all in, I guess?
No, I thought the guys were great. I mean, they've passed by that memorial a million times, but just like anything else in life, how many times do you actually just really sit there and look? And this morning we didn't have an opportunity to do that, but we had Mike Nowhere talk to our guys and just kind of fill them in on it. And I'm sure that some things will be released here in the next day or two. But I mean, just an unbelievable moment, you know, to listen to his account of what happened and who, you know, how the people that, some of those people that passed, I mean, were his friends, and it's a tough deal. But with that being said, I thought it was a great educational opportunity for our guys. And as I've said, we have good guys, so they understand and they know that Saturday's game will be a much bigger cause than us getting to 2 and 3 in the Big 12 and us beating Colorado. It'll be a much bigger cause. We'll be playing for something much higher than just a win on Saturday afternoon. So, no, I think our guys, they're going to give more. They're going to give everything that they have to win that game on Saturday.
Is that something where they can maybe buy in a little bit, but that can bond a team a little bit more to kind of know the history of the place they're playing at?
Yeah, I sure hope so. I mean, if you don't, then something's wrong with you, you know, to be very honest, from a character standpoint. And I think that we have pretty good guys, so I believe in their character and I believe that they'll band together. But, you know, the other thing about it, you asked me, like, you're in the industry and you're thinking about all this or where you were or you see it happen. Shoot, man, I'd say 2/3 of our team was not even born by the time when this happened. I think we had 3 guys raise their hand when Mike asked them if they were born, you know, so that's the tough part about it. But that's also our like, that's my job, is to educate them and to make them understand that that's our family. Even though you may not have been born, that's just like your brother standing next to you right now and playing with you. That's your family.
Connor and Tyler both got in the first half, both hit a couple shots. Just kind of what did they show you to earn that opportunity?
They've shown it in practice, you know. I mean, they've got to be more consistent, all of them. But really, at the end of the day, I just felt like that those guys deserved the chance. Those other guys were not producing. Obviously, we had some foul trouble, but in reality, it wasn't so much the foul trouble as it was just playing selfishly and not giving enough effort on both ends of the floor. And as I've told y'all from day one, I mean, if you're not going to do what's asked of you and you're not going to give your best, then I'm going to give someone else an opportunity. And to those guys' credit, they both played well. I hope to get them some more minutes. You know, obviously you need to play well in practice here the next couple of days, as do the rest of them. But I plan to try and get them some more minutes.
You've got a hard out for practice.
Yep. Sorry guys.